Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today, Wednesday morning, August 12th, 2020, on the man they call Meathead. And, it's that day again, folks. It's that time. Tonight, we're going to have NXT. We're going to have AEW. We got a lot to look forward to. And speaking of looking forward to, I look forward to hearing a good morning from Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for that stirring introduction.
Yeah, I try to do what I can. So whenever we talk, it's never scripted. I just spit it from the heart, brother.
Yeah. And you do a great job of trying to do what you can.
Chris Jericho once said it best. I am the best in the world at what I do. Because nobody else does what you do, what I do. I mean, everybody does their own thing. So I am the best in the world at what I do.
Now,
how to quantify that?
Speaking of Jericho, did you get to attend his show in Sturgis this past weekend?
I did not, but did Fozzy perform?
Yeah, Fozzy performed at Sturgis, which same thing. 23 years ago, he would have been in Sturgis on this weekend. So
he performed in a different way then.
Taking a stroll down memory lane. I have not heard whether it was it lived up to his Hog Wild or Road Wild performance, but I do know that it did happen.
I will tell you, I did watch the debate one more time because it's funny. I don't care. You smell like salami, Drakkar Noir, and old batteries.
Yeah, I've got to pull you back. I think it was just batteries. I don't.
So
think
it was old salami.
Yeah.
Drakkar Noir and batteries.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that made the humor so much better, because if there was an adjective in front of batteries, it'd be like, you're using it as a dig, but just batteries in general, it's like maybe that's a backhanded compliment. I don't know.
The combination of old salami, Drakkar Noir, and batteries. I mean, I need somebody out on the internet to do a YouTube video and put that smell together and then send out those scratch and sniffs for us.
Or, honestly, man, maybe that could be a nice little Twitter video, basically you with a AA Duracell up each nostril.
We could do smell-o-vision for AEW. They're always looking for the next hook.
Yeah, that could very well be it right there.
Let's talk AEW for tonight. The match is happening. It's going to be Orange Cassidy taking on Chris Jericho. If Cassidy loses, he owes Chris Jericho $7,000 to repay for that jacket. Who do you got?
I think that's got to happen. Listen, Cassidy losing doesn't really do anything. Cassidy winning, I don't think really does anything. Like, here's the thing. Orange Cassidy's over no matter what. Like, I don't think the guy winning or losing really makes any type of difference to that character. So what I'm looking at this with potentially booking it is what's going to get us the most entertainment value. And I think Cassidy losing and having to do like odd jobs and odd gigs in order to pay off that $7. Yeah, Jamba Juice, driving a Lyft or an Uber. I think it's Grubhub. I think
that's a 2020 right there.
Yeah,
he's driving for Uber Eats.
Orange Cassidy in the gig economy, I think there's some entertainment value right there. So no, absolutely, I'd have Orange Cassidy lose, and then that's your next. That's the rest of 2020 of AEW. AEW television written right there. Christmas time rolls around, he could be doing a Santa thing. You've got entertainment for months with that right there.
You're not wrong. However, I see it the other way. Chris Jericho does not get hurt 1 iota, 1 inch by losing to Cassidy, even though Cassidy did wrestling business and said that what happens if you lose to the guy that has his hands in his pocket? What did he say? Something about the effect of pocket pool. He does flips and does pocket pool or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was a billiards enthusiast.
Right. Yeah, he's shooting for the 8-ball in the corner pocket. But I don't think that Jericho losing hurts him at all. And I think Cassidy winning is a big deal. And I think that this is Cassidy. If you look at any kind of program, just in general, in wrestling history, if you want to really get something out of it, Jericho shouldn't go over twice on him. Shouldn't. He should actually have Cassidy win this one, so it's a 1-1, and then you get the final rematch at the end.
Well, we shall see tonight.
I mean, they could book that towards what is All Out on September 5th, I think.
Is that the date? Okay, I know
Yeah, I
it's
think it's
around
September
the
5th.
bend. Okay,
We
okay.
got a lot of pay-per-views coming up in the next few
Yeah,
weeks. We've got
yeah,
NXT's Takeover, we got SummerSlam, we got All Out, all within about a 3-week time frame.
yeah. No, that's very true. Very interesting this year too, with the Takeover and SummerSlam being staggered and not the same weekend.
You might want to check that. I think it's been re-put back on the 22nd.
Has it?
Yeah, you might want to check that.
Okay. Maybe I was looking at my calendar wrong.
Yeah, I don't have the pay-per-view poster calendar that comes out at the beginning of the year, and I get all 12 pay-per-views on it anymore.
Yeah.
Not like in the late 90s, like I used to get.
The good old days.
The good old days. Yep. Those were the days, too. Not to go off on a sidetrack, but I took poor care of them. But if you can picture every pay-per-view poster from, say, 98 through even 97, probably through like 03, 04, maybe, I have every one of them. All so WWFs, all WWEs, WCWs.
Not as long of a stretch, but probably from a stretch of 94 through about 96, I want to say, not the posters, but the nice little friendly pieces of postal mail reminders of upcoming pay-per-views. Because when you ordered through your local satellite provider at that point, they would send you a piece of snail mail with with the upcoming. I mean, I imagine it was what was on the poster, just in a little smaller form. But probably. Yeah, I do remember those very well, and would have been really cool if I'd have saved them, but that did not happen.
And I took poor care of mine. I mean, I move every 2 years, and it's been 20 some years. So, I took pretty bad care of them. But let's talk AEW for tonight as we kind of digress, but kind of bring it back in. So I've got Cassidy, you've got Jericho for the main event tonight. This is actually Tag Team Appreciation Night per the contract signing from FTR. So we're going to have some tag team action. There's also a singles match of some pretty high importance. The TNT Championship match is on the line. The American Nightmare Cody's taking on Scorpio Sky. Your thoughts on what happens in this match? Does Cody keep? Does Scorpio look strong? And, I mean, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think Scorpio looks strong. Like, you're seeing that pretty much every week with everybody who's competing for the TNT title here. Here's the thing with that, and I get what they're doing, and I get it is quintessentially the TV title to be defended on TV. Here's the thing, though, because we're seeing it every week, because we're seeing Cody consistently going over, and you're not really having a program or a build other than week to week, I don't ever really feel like we get into an instance where Cody's in real trouble. And I think that's one of the drawbacks of this title, who's defended on a weekly basis in kind of this open challenge format. And I'm looking forward to this match. And I think, it's going to be a great single showing for Scorpio Sky, probably his most prominent single showing, since he's been in AEW. But I don't.
Well, he did have that title match that one night. I thought didn't he take on Jericho, or was it Moxley?
It would have been Jericho. If it had been Moxley, it would have been more recent than that. But yeah, I don't. The problem here is I don't feel like Cody's necessarily in trouble when I'm watching these matches for each week, more so than, what happens with the actual title is what kind of develops in Cody's, in his psyche, and, kind of what story they're telling with that. I mean, we've seen him get, super aggressive from week to week and have trouble concentrating and get a little sidetracked. So I'm more interested in that story than I am necessarily what's happening with the title, because I never get the sense that it's in danger.
Good point. AEW World Championship match. The tag team titles on the line. Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page taking on the number 5 contenders, Jurassic Express, which is going to be Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Marco Stunt will be there as well. It's not the number 1 contenders. It's the number 5. And while I enjoy Luchasaurus, I always feel there's something missing from Luchasaurus. This big dude who's a dinosaur, but not really a dinosaur, doing all these drop kicks. Something's missing.
Yeah, and I just don't. It's odd to me, and I get what they're going for. And here's the thing: like, I see this working really well at an independent show where you don't necessarily have to have a background of who the performers are. It's fun, it's interesting, but I feel like you have a hard time going week to week and month to month with this team. Like where does it go? I mean, in Jack Perry's singles matches, I'm much more interested. Honestly, I'm much more interested in both of these guys as singles competitors than I am together. I mean, it's fun. You're typically going to get some Marco Stunt involvement where he's flying all around, but I feel like outside of a special attraction feature, you really have a hard time booking anything meaningful with this current setup. And I feel like this is more of the same.
Tag team grudge match will be the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick, taking on the Dark Order with Evil Uno and, as JR calls it, Stu, don't call me Dick Grayson. Do you get that reference, by the way, Matthew?
Yeah. Burt Ward's character in the original Batman, right?
The original TV show Batman, yeah. Dick Grayson.
Yep, I do. I was a original Batman aficionado in syndication and reruns.
Do you know how to do the Bat-2C?
I'm doing it right now.
That was awkward. What's going to happen between the Bucks and the Dark Order?
I'm looking forward to seeing more of the Dark Order. Over the last several weeks, I've been really impressed by the in-ring performances and also, too, kind of where that whole thing is going. I like the Colt Cabana aspect of everything.
Boom.
Yeah. It's I like the Brody Lee dynamic. I mean, it's a little bit tough with a lot of the Dark Order because you've got everybody wrestling under hoods, and that part's a little bit strange, but the overall story, I'm kind of enjoying here. And the Bucks continue to be a consistent highlight, and I like I like watching the Bucks wrestle different styles of matches. And we get the Spot Fest matches, but we also get more of your traditional, more along the lines of storytelling. And we saw that, I believe it was last week in the, in which I was really impressed that 12-man tag went as well as it did. That had all the potential to be an absolute cluster, but I thought they told a really solid story. So looking forward to seeing, and here's the thing, it's taken me a while to come around on the Bucks. I appreciate
sure you didn't take a while.
A while. But I'm liking the fact that we're getting to see them, pretty consistently week to week, and looking forward to seeing what they have in store here.
Okay. So, and then finally, there's going to be a confrontation between Moxley and MJF. They are making their way to All Out on September 5th, and that's going to be your main event. Jon Moxley will defend against Maxwell Jacob Freeman. This is just going to be another peg on the ladder to the main event match of their signature pay-per-view. So I don't expect anything but progression of the story. MJF has been doing the political angle of how we deserve better, and Moxley is just going around getting his face busted open during his matches. What do you expect out of this?
I want Moxley to come across as caring about this match. Here's the thing. As there's not many performers on that roster that I look forward to more than a Jon Moxley match. That being said, I don't know how Jon
looks forward to it.
Yeah, that he. Well, no, there's not many matches that I look forward to seeing more than a Moxley match. But here's the thing with Moxley and his current persona in AEW, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. Here's the thing, like that. Moxley coming through the crowd, I think he is a much more interesting champion in a non-COVID era where he can actually come through the crowd, get the crowd fired up. Moxley's title run, as good as the matches have been, I don't feel he's not, and I'm speaking only for myself, he's not connecting with me as a champion. I'm much more intrigued by the potential of an MJF title run. I think week to week, MJF with that title on my TV, it interests me and has the likelihood to entertain me much more than Moxley with the belt. Nothing to take away from what Moxley's doing in ring, but I don't know what that I don't know what AEW's Jon Moxley is necessarily supposed to be. We saw this vicious, super aggressive guy at the beginning of last week's match with Darby Allin. As it came, as it ended, we saw him, hugging and making up with Darby Allin. I mean, he's a face, he's an aggressive face, but I don't necessarily, know how I'm supposed to feel about Jon Moxley as champion. I know how I'm supposed to feel with MJF as champion. I know how I'm supposed to feel with MJF in general. I'm supposed to strongly dislike the guy, even though, it's not necessarily, the perception there. Much more intrigued by an MJF title run than I am Jon Moxley at this point, and I look forward to seeing the progressions they take towards that.
Okay. Very well thought out, articulate, caring. Like, I made the joke in the middle of you trying to actually, spit out some information, but does Jon Moxley care about this match? You care about seeing Jon Moxley, but does Jon Moxley care? So very good point.
I care about Jon Moxley caring about this match.
That makes absolute sense to put a button on it. Before we go into NXT, I want to talk about something real quick here. A little bit of news came out earlier. I think it was last night or the morning of. I forget exactly when it popped up. But Ric Flair commenting on what went down on Raw. Okay. You've seen it, Matthew, obviously.
Yeah, I have.
What did you think when Randy mentioned his son? His dead son, not only his dead son, but, David Flair as well, who did have a run in WCW.
I felt very uncomfortable. And this was last night or 2 nights ago, rather, was a very uncomfortable night for people's sons. You started the show with that just aggressive, violent beatdown of Dominic, and then you ended the show with the comments that we had in that segment.
Yeah, Dominic took a beating, and I spoke with Dave yesterday morning about was that the welcome to the business kid beating that he was supposed to get, and I think it was. And you know what? He took it. So, does he get that hug in the back? Good job, kid. Welcome. You're in. Because that was an ass whipping. But then, like I said, at the end of the night, Ric Flair, he made it clear. Ric Flair is not the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling, and dealing son of a gun. He's Charlotte's dad, and he's an old man, and he's 71 years old. And, another point that he made, too, that kind of hit me. I got the Hogans, and I got everybody else calling me, how is it? What's it like to still be on TV every week? Oh, man, it's the best. I said that even 10 years ago, 61-year-old Ric Flair would have took an RKO for Randy. He would have took it. Ric Flair's got a pacemaker, man. This dude was unconscious after a heart attack. Ric Flair's a shell of the man that he used to be. And to allow Randy, which, you know what? They probably said to each other, let's do the best thing we can. And they're probably just spitballing a little bit there. Randy may have gone a little bit too far, and he probably talked to Rick afterwards. He probably talked to the family afterwards. It was too far. Because for those that don't know, Reed Flair is no longer with us. Charlotte Flair has said multiple times when, she's done these kind of backstage interviews or these, behind the scenes interviews, she's living the career that Reed was supposed to have. She had never really wanted to be a wrestler to start with. She's doing it because her brother wanted it. And now she's probably one of the best in the game. David Flair had his run in WCW, and that didn't go as well. But really, to kind of take a shot at the family like that on somebody that was a little dirty. I felt kind of dirty. But then again, we've got, anarchist groups. We've got, Rey Mysterio's 7-foot tall son when Rey's only like 4'8". We got his son getting his ass whipped. Wrestling's just weird right now.
It's dark, man. It's dark. We needed R-Truth to close the show, like trying to find
I love
leftover
R-Truth.
Birthday cake or something,
Absolutely. Fucking R-Truth. Excuse my language. R-Truth, man. R-Truth, I think right now is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I never thought
without a doubt.
I never thought that we would get there, and I'm trying to lighten this up, folks. We got to move on from the Ric Flair stuff. R-Truth is a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he ever officially retire that belt and call it the honorary R-Truth belt. The dude is a 38-time 24/7 7-Eleven I-95 South, Waffle House champion, dude.
Here's the thing. How many people do you have in the industry that are as much of a constant as R-Truth is, that you do not have to flop back and forth between heel and face? That can be their character throughout and does not get stale, does not get old. I mean, R-Truth has been that same character for how many years? Yeah, you had your heel title, your heel R-Truth.
Let's talk TNA for a bit. So when he was Ron the Truth Killings, he was a former NWA, technically TNA champion in the company. So when he was with, what was their name? 2 Live Crew? No. What was that group's name? 3LK, wasn't it?
You're going early TNA, man. This is having to go way back.
I think it was 3 Live Crew, to be honest. I think it was Conan, Road Dogg, and Truth.
Oh, man.
Somebody help me out. Matthew, help me. Somebody chime in here. Somebody help out, please.
I don't. One of my earliest, and this is.
Thank you for stalling, by the way, while I look it up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad to do it. This is not early TNA. This is probably like 06 TNA, but I remember distinctly, like, end of the year going into January, R-Truth rapping, or Ron Killings at the time rapping about how he was trying to give up smoking and how difficult that was. And that was one of the first times
that was around the time that he wanted to be John Cena, right? And little Jimmy wanted to be a John Cena fan or John Cena wrestler.
We're going that predates this, because this is like 06.
3 Live Crew.
Was it 3 Live Crew?
3 Live Crew.
Yeah, and then probably the closest R-Truth has gotten in WWE to, major WWE title contention was the 2011 feud with John Cena. That
Capital Punishment
gave us the main event at Capital Punishment, where little Jimmy interfered in the match, right?
Yep. Talk about a pull right there. That's a 9-year-old pull right there. And that's without the internet, kids.
Yep. There you go. There you go. And here's the thing, man. As much as that pay-per-view got bashed, I really want to go back and watch the main event of that show again. Just because that's R-Truth in rare form right there, closing a pay-per-view. Washington, D.C., that might have been when it was still the MCI Center, before it was, because it's a Verizon Center now, I believe.
Main
eventing your Capital Punishment. They need to bring that pay-per-view back, Meathead.
Like I said, to kind of end it on a positive note, R-Truth is a first ballot Hall of Famer, because I've been also watching the R-Truth game show. That thing is friggin' fantastic. He is that character on TV now, but how are they not letting, like, Alexa be who she is? She's an absolute doll.
Yeah.
They'll probably have to get away from it if they make her Sister Abigail, but she is an absolute doll. I love her. But R-Truth is just absolutely hilarious. He had Miz running up and down. And, dude, the best question he gave the Miz was, all right, name the last Super Bowl title that Cleveland Browns have ever had. Just a little shot, a little troll there, if you will.
What's Miz's father up to? Why is he not on my television more?
That you probably need to go figure out yourself. Didn't Miz's father run his own wrestling federation for a while, like John Cena's father?
Did he?
No, I'm making that part up.
I think you might be onto something. I think maybe you're right.
No, get out of here. No, John Cena's father ran some sort of indie up in the New England area.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah. Go back and watch your times when John Cena's father was talked about on TV and it had his brothers there. Go back and check that out.
Do you have any more interesting pieces of trivia about John Cena's father?
No, other than that he ran a Waffle House. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
I made that up too.
Man.
All right.
Do you have are there a lot of Waffle Houses in your area?
No, dude. Waffle House is a Southern thing, dude.
Yeah.
The closest thing to a Waffle House is probably going to be Cincinnati for me.
Yeah, no, we've actually, and here's the thing, and that was my biggest surprise. They're not as many in Colorado
You
as
have
there
them?
are in South Carolina. Yeah, I've got two within probably a 10-mile radius of me.
They're right off the freeway, I hope.
Yeah, they're right off the freeway, and I've become quite the Waffle House connoisseur, and you after a while, after you kind of compare and contrast your various local Waffle Houses, the strengths and the weaknesses, of the local establishments. Did find out the other night that apparently, at least in the Colorado Waffle Houses, there's some type of governor on the jukebox that goes off after 10 p.m. And there's actually the option of more explicit titles on the Waffle House
Really?
jukebox. After at least that's what I was told at the Parker, Colorado Waffle House. Shout out to the Parker, Colorado Waffle House.
All right, folks, here's what we got to do. We have a connection to a Waffle House aficionado. We need to get Uncle Al on the program and cut out maybe 5-10 minutes on just Waffle Houses across the country, their differences between them, and why there's a governor on the jukebox in Colorado.
Hey, I am all for that. That sounds like a special edition to me if we've ever had a special edition.
Now, what I need to know is why the White Castles don't make it into Wisconsin, or never did, because I have to drive down to the damn near end of Wisconsin, almost Illinois, because I pronounce it that way, Illinois. But why do we have to go all the way down there to go get White Castle? I know White Castle was originated in Columbus, Ohio, but why are Waffle Houses only allowed in the South? Just like Steak and Shake. What's the other one that they eat down there? One of the burger joints. I can't think of it right now.
I know there's it's relatively new within the last 5 or 6 years, but I know Cookout is everywhere in the South now.
Not quite sure why they're not north yet, but we definitely need them. I know we got a lot more Culver's up here because Culver's originated in Wisconsin, but just like Kohl's department store, for those that don't know, the Kohl's across the country started in Milwaukee, Algonquin, for the good land.
Here's the thing. I'll take it a step further. Our special edition, if we can arrange it, I can guarantee you that I will be broadcasting live from a Waffle House.
We have gone off the rails here on this one. And I'm telling you, we got to ask Dave or Damien or whoever. We got to reach out to Uncle Al and have Al come in and explain to us really the background of Waffle Houses and how they've gotten to be, really.
Let's make it happen.
All right. So for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, make sure you're stopping by, liking, subscribing, and commenting on there. Maybe help us out. Why is Waffle House only available in the South? Why can I not get a Waffle House up north? Do I want a Waffle House up north? And why is White Castle never entered any farther north than Kenosha, Wisconsin? Because I have to drive all the way down there to get a White Castle burger. So, all right. Matthew Thomas, man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.